Hi everyone, it's Eric from ecotman12.blogspot.com and welcome to my full review of the HTC One X mobile phone. This is HTC's flagship Android smartphone from 2012 and we are going to see if it is overall worth your hard-earned cash. Let's get to it. Now let's talk about specs. The HTC One X has a 1.5GHz Tegra 3 quad-core processor, 8MP camera capable of 1080p video, 1GB of RAM, 32GB of storage which unfortunately cannot be expanded with microSD cards. However, 32GB is still a substantial amount of space. However, if you are still concerned about the built-in storage, then keep in mind that HTC have included 25GB of Dropbox storage for 2 years. The One X also has a 1800 mAh battery. Now, first impressions of this device is its massive 4.7-inch screen. They call this the Infinity display, and then you take a look at the rest of the phone, and it is HTC at their best. The phone feels very solid in the hand, and I get the feeling that if I accidentally drop this phone, it will come out without a scratch. And I can confirm that it will come out without a scratch, because I did accidentally drop this phone, and it slammed on the ground face down. I was really worried at first, but when I picked it up and checked it, there was not a scratch on the screen, nor any damage on the rest of the device. So HTC really must be congratulated for manufacturing such a durable, thin, and attractive looking device. Also, as you can see, this HTC One X is in white, and unlike phones like the Samsung Galaxy S, this phone does not feel cheap at all. It has a matte feel in the hand and is really comfortable to hold. It is slippery sometimes, but the majority of the time it fits very nicely in my hand. So the hardware of this phone is absolutely astounding. Now let's turn on the phone and talk about software. First things first, the screen on this phone is absolutely amazing. The colors are really sharp, vivid, and the text is so crisp. It's got the widest viewing angles of any phone I have ever seen, and that includes the Samsung Galaxy S3. The colors on this phone look so natural. Is HTC saying that you don't need an AMOLED display to achieve amazing colors and fantastic contrast? The screen resolution is 1280 by 720, so yes, this is a 720p display. And when you look at this screen, there will be no doubt in your mind that this is one of the best screens to ever hit a mobile phone. It also looks great outdoors and can even be seen in sunlight. Now let's talk about Sense 4.0. Sense 4.0 is based after Ice Cream Sandwich, so for instance the dock at the bottom has now been changed to the dock you get on Ice Cream Sandwich, etc. Now another change HTC did with Sense 4.0 is how you customize your home screens. To add a widget, you simply tap and hold on the touchscreen and you get these four-way panels that you can swipe between, and you can choose whichever widgets you want to customize your screens with. I personally do not like this. Since you only get to see 4 widgets at a time, it takes bloody eternity to find the widgets that you are looking for. It just makes the overall experience overwhelming, even to previous HTC owners like me. Keep in mind that HTC have over 100 widgets, and to only see 4 of them at a time is ludicrous. Fortunately, HTC have integrated a search feature in the widgets drawer which allows you to search for the particular widget you are looking for, which is really nice. Now, a feature that we always had with HTC Sense is Leap, which allows you to gain a helicopter view of all your home screens, so you can very quickly jump between screens. HTC have sort of expanded this and now give you the option to add and remove home screens, which I personally never cared about, but is a great feature for some. Now let's cover off the bad points of the HTC One X. Now there are times in where the HTC One X lags. For example, when I tap on a folder, it always takes a second to open, but when I press it again, it loads up instantly, like it had to go into memory the first time. The same goes for the app drawer. As you can see, it is slow to start at first, but when I tap onto it again, it loads up perfectly. That is a real annoyance and one of the HTC One X's biggest problems. With a handset packed with so much horsepower, you wouldn't expect any lag like this. This leads me to conclude, however, that it's not the hardware but the actual operating system, which is Android. Android does lag and is not all round smooth. However, in the near future, this problem will hopefully be ironed out with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, but as it stands, the HTC One X does lag at times. Not only is it noticeable, but it's also annoying. Now, another thing I didn't really like was the camera. It's an 8MP camera and the photos it takes are on par with the quality of my HTC Desire S's snaps. The photos are really lacking in detail and are not really enjoyable to review after taking them. This is especially disappointing when you take into account that HTC were really pushing this as a fantastic camera. The 1080p HD video I thought was great, but the overall photos are average. That being said, it does have a ton of features like panorama, continuous shots, HDR, and much more. And I am sorry guys, but you all saw this coming. I didn't like the bulging camera at the back of the device. Also, HTC used to have toggles on the notification bar, but now for some reason have decided to remove it. Why they did that, I don't know, but I do know one thing: It was to piss people like me off. I love toggles and notification bars. It meant that wherever I am, I don't have to keep referring to the home screen or settings. I am really disappointed, HTC. Now let's talk about the good aspects of the HTC One X. One thing that I really liked was the feature of tabs in the app drawer. This is very intuitive and allows you to remove and add the tabs at the bottom of the app drawer, which is great. This is just allowing us to customize whatever we want in the phone, and that really does add to the overall experience. And unlike Samsung, HTC have good reason to modify the keyboard and email application. Heck, the keyboard even has a great swiping feature, which is not the best I've experienced, but it is definitely up there. The autocorrection is also amazing. Managing your emails on this device was an absolute joy, and in combination with HTC's keyboard, let's just say you are in for a delightful experience. HTC's email application has always been great, and it is constantly improving with future iterations of Sense. Now let's talk about the multitasking UI. I covered this before in my review of the HTC One S, and to be honest, I haven't changed my opinion. What's wrong with the stock ice cream sandwich multitasking UI? It was more intuitive and felt more satisfying than this. But even saying that, it still works very well, and if you use it in the landscape orientation, you will also be able to swipe off apps from the left and right. Now the web browser, let's talk about that. Web browsers are extremely important for all smartphones, and with a quad-core processor and 720p display on this, we should get an amazing browsing experience. Now let's go onto my website. And it is quite fast. It is not the fastest browser out there, but it is a very pleasant experience and is a joy to use, especially in this landscape orientation. And since you are working off a 4.7-inch 720p display, you will be able to have a full screen web experience, which is an absolute delight to use. It even plays Flash content very fluidly, and I personally use a lot of Flash. Now using this as a phone is no problem at all. Incoming and outgoing call quality is great. Not the best I've experienced, but it is still great. Now let's talk about battery life. As I said before, the phone has a 1800 mAh battery, and in my tests I have been getting a day to a day and a half easily with this phone, and that has been with medium to heavy use. If I was to give it low use, I would most likely get 2 days between charges, around there. The battery on this phone is great. There was one time at night when the battery went down to 2% and the phone was still running. Now if you were to use it for gaming, you will obviously get much less battery. And speaking of gaming, the HTC One X plays games great. However, as you can see here, the Amazing Spider-Man is lagging, and that is down to the actual game rather than the phone. In fact, many people are reporting lag with this game. So it's not the best of examples, but I paid my own money to actually show you this game for demonstration purposes, so look grateful. So overall, the phone has fantastic build quality, great software, albeit the lagginess of the OS, average camera, and beautiful screen. I can certainly recommend the HTC One X. It is an absolutely great phone. If you liked what you saw, then pick one up. You will not be disappointed. If you are not entirely happy with what you saw, then take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S3. And if you are wondering if that phone is worth it, then click your screen now to see my review of that phone. A big thanks must go to Vodafone.co.uk for sending the HTC One X over to review. You can pick this phone up from their website free of charge for £41 per month. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Eric from ecartman12.blogspot.com. Please give the video a thumbs up, comment and subscribe, and I will see all of you in the next video.